Have you ever hung up the phone with a client and just had that feeling like, did we really connect? Well, today we're going to flip that uncertainty into total confidence. We're talking about how to turn a simple phone call into your most powerful tool for building truly solid client relationships and honestly driving some serious growth. Let's dive in. So, in a world that's all about DMs and emails, why are we still talking about the phone? I mean, look at the difference here. Email and chat, they're slow, they're flat, they lack all the important stuff. But a phone call, that's where the magic happens. It's immediate. You get nuance, you get personalization. Just hearing the tone of a client's voice can be the key to building trust, sorting out a really complex problem, or getting that renewal signed. It is your direct line to a real human connection.
All right, so here's our game plan. We're going to start with the why, why this stuff actually matters. Then we'll get into a pre-call playbook. After that, we'll get into the nitty-gritty of mastering the conversation itself. Then we'll tackle those tricky moments. And finally, we'll map out your path to becoming a real pro. Think of this as your complete journey to becoming a phone communication expert.
First up, the preparation playbook. Because here's the secret, right? The most successful calls aren't won by what you say during the call, they're won by what you do before you even pick up the phone. This is where you set the stage for success.
Okay, think of this as your non-negotiable pre-flight checklist. Step 1, review their history. What are their biggest headaches right now? What did you talk about last time? Step 2, set a clear objective. What does a win look like for this specific call? And step 3, prep your questions. Seriously, when you walk into a call this prepared, it tells the client you're proactive, you're on the ball, and most importantly, you respect their time. It sets a professional tone from the word hello.
All right, prep work is done. You've dialed the number and you're on the line. Now what? Let's dive into mastering the conversation itself. We're going to focus on those specific techniques that build real connection and drive the call forward productively. You know, the power of positive language is absolutely huge. Simple phrases like, I can help with that, or that's a fantastic question. They can literally change the entire vibe of a call. They just ooze confidence and a can-do attitude. And hey, here's a little pro tip for you. Smile when you talk. No, really. It might feel silly, but you would be shocked at how much warmth it adds to your voice, and the person on the other end can absolutely feel it.
Now for what might be the single most powerful skill you can develop: active listening. And this is so much more than just staying quiet while they talk. It's about engagement. Using little verbal nods like, I see, or I understand, shows you're locked in. And then paraphrasing what they said. Okay, so if I'm hearing you right, that not only confirms you get it, but it gives them a chance to correct you. It shows respect and helps you get to the root of what's really going on. Every great call needs a bit of structure, but, and this is important, it shouldn't feel like a rigid script. It's more like a flexible framework. You kick things off with a warm welcome and state the purpose of the call. Then you go into exploration mode, using those active listening skills we just covered. Once you've got a handle on their needs, you present a solution. And the closer? You've got to summarize the next steps. This structure keeps everything professional, organized, and makes sure nothing important falls through the cracks. Okay, let's be real for a second. Not every call is going to be a walk in the park. You're going to hit objections, you're going to deal with frustrated customers. But the trick is to reframe these moments in your mind. They aren't roadblocks, they are opportunities. Opportunities to understand your customer even better and to prove just how valuable you are. This phrase, right here, this is your secret weapon. When a customer brings up something tough, leading with, that makes sense, and I appreciate you sharing that, is just incredibly effective. It validates how they're feeling without you having to agree with their point. It instantly brings the tension down a notch and shows them you're on their team, ready to listen, not to fight. So it boils down to this simple 3-step response. First, just listen. Let them get it all out. Don't interrupt. Second, validate their concern using that magic phrase we just talked about. And only then, third, do you respond calmly with your solution. Maybe it's some data, maybe it's a success story from another client, or maybe it's just a different way forward. This calm, confident approach can take a complaint and turn it into a moment that actually makes them trust you more. So as we start to pull all these pieces together, you can see these aren't just a bunch of random tips, right? They're the core building blocks of amazing customer communication. Getting these down is what separates a pretty good CSM from a truly great one. It's the difference between just making calls and actually building powerful, lasting relationships. And this, right here, this is the end game. This is what we're all aiming for. When you master these skills, you stop being just another vendor and you become a trusted advisor.
You become the person that client turns to first, the one they see as a genuine partner in their own success. That's how you build rock-solid customer loyalty and become a top-tier CSM. So to wrap this all up, I'm going to leave you with this one question. Think about everything we just covered: the prep work, the active listening, handling those tough moments. Which one of these skills are you going to intentionally focus on and master on your very next call? That single choice is your first real step on the path to becoming an expert.